one-on-one matchups.
They're expecting a sellout crowd. The sun starting to peek out from behind the clouds. Two of the best face-off men in the country, and we are ready here at Dorrance Field in Chapel Hill. Carolina in the home whites, winning the Open. With the amount of talent in the game, the amount of teams in the game, if Notre Dame completes the three-peat, harder to do it now than ever before.
100%. And so much credit to Kevin Corrigan and his staff. The way that he's evolved over the years, too, and based on his personnel, how all of his teams have looked to him and overcompensate. He played to it. He dropped that plant foot and made him overextend even more.
The fifth goal of the season for the freshman Wilson. Colin Hagstrom at the face-off X for Notre Dame. It doesn't matter. Wambach's 3 for 3. Trail check by Will Donovan, the All-American.
Wambach is off to a great Harry Merrill and Anthony Rayo and Luke Bear, like three of the best midfielders in high school lacrosse right now. You couple them with these two studs.
So no Will Lynch at the face-off X. They stick with Hagstrom. Trying to find some kryptonite for Wambach. Donovan off the wings. Such a weapon. Notre Dame has 7 shots, none. 4 of his 8 goals entering play came in the last 2 weeks, and adds a man-up tally today. What do you make of Notre Dame sticking with Hagstrom instead of Lynch against Wambach?
You know, I would go with Lynch, and the reason being is because they don't have history together. They didn't go against each other last year.
So both. Wambach now 5 out of 6. Quickly up ahead. Here's Parker Hoffman, who is lightning quick. Koopman the trailer. And a long pole shoots it wide.
Let's keep an eye on him. 4 and white. Relentless they are inside with their bodies and timing the slides, and then you're doing it on one end and then you're dominating possessions. Notre Dame's not getting a shot on goal for an entire quarter, held scoreless. Brady Wambach is strangling possessions away from the Irish right now. There's Coach Dave Petramala. I think he's done a terrific job with this unit. Bunch of first-year starters, and you lose Toman, who's a lockdown defender and was going to be the centerpiece of your defense. Now you bring in some young bucks like she look the same. He can play all over the offensive set. When I say he's positionless, I mean from an offensive threat perspective, not a guy who plays midfield and plays attack and is all over the field. In that offensive set, he's positionless.
Well, remember, as a kid, this kid played goalkeeper. He faced off, played as a two-way midfielder, so there is some truth to that. Lynch took that face off. The wings give Notre Dame the ball. Here's Kavanaugh again. We saw in the loss against Maryland with Notre Dame down late, Kavanaugh almost willed the Irish back by himself.
Tough as nails.
Outscored the Irish 4-0 in the first. 4 different goal scorers. 2 of the best at the face-off X, Lynch and Wambach. Both top 12 nationally. And here is Ramsey, so the Irish control to begin the third quarter. Kavanaugh wheels down the alley, rolls back, body save by Gene Ficaro, and Prohashka picks
it out. He's getting himself in better angles to let that lefty hammer of a shot go.
And if you just look at his shooting in ACC play, first 3 career games in this conference, he shot 2 for 23. Last 3, not including this one, 10 for 22. Chance here for the Irish. Kavanaugh with his second. And now this game is starting to get caffeinated.
This is the early op. He counters with that crossfield pass to Kavanaugh. That is beautiful offense.
3 goals in the last 8 minutes for Notre Dame after not scoring in the first 29. And Notre Dame having more success at the face-off X in this third quarter. This is a 50-50 ball, and the Irish win another face-off.
And we're going with Lynch, 22, their main face-off. Petramala, the lefty. Kavanaugh, the perimeter guy. Taylor, the inside guy. And you mentioned that three-peat from Princeton, right? 96, 97, 98. They had the attack.
Yeah.
Hess, Hubbard, Massey. Those three played so beautifully together, right? Massey was a lefty. Hubbard was a right. Hess was the feeder behind the cage. A lot like the threesome last year for Notre Dame when Pat Cavanaugh was in the mix. He was the guy behind. Brother Chris on the right, and the inside presence with Taylor.
Goal, so Notre Dame down 4-0 after the first quarter has now pulled even, and they have won every face-off in this third quarter. A big part of this 4-1 third quarter blitz. Lynch lost his helmet. It's going to be a procedure call. Are they going to get Lynch for playing without a helmet?
Believe so. You know, going back to the Cavanaugh goal, he's one of the better attackmen I've seen. Going airborne with no angle. And his shooting releases while he's lost his base.
How much of that comes from the backyard?
A ton. It's just the improv, it's the creativity. It's also just the women's lacrosse teams win national championships, and his dad, Dan, was a great player in his own right and a national champ in 1993. He is Tar Heel blue through and through, and what a big spot for the senior midfielder.
91 championship, right?
91, you are correct. You are correct. 91 it was the Heels, 92 it was Princeton, 93 was Syracuse. That one was down to the wire when Matt Ryder scored the game winner off of Charlie Lockwood. Absolutely masterful. You look at big moments this year. Chris Cavanaugh has delivered in big spots. He had 4 goals in the fourth quarter against Maryland. When Syracuse blew out Notre Dame a couple weeks ago, he went down swinging. He's always in big spots.
4 goals.
Beautiful rip on Gianfrancaro.
6 goals in this third quarter for the Irish. They had just 1 in the first half. A chance for more. Donovan over to McLean.
He wants the ball. He wants the ball.
Here's Cavanaugh. He's got 4 already. Behind the cage. To the long pole. He's going to have something Pat doesn't have.
Oh, yeah.
Which is going to be that third ring. And you think that's going to come up at the dinner table for the next 4 years?
Doing something on his own, right? Like, think of that narrative. But no one will. Understanding of defensive pressure or lack of defensive pressure by Faison. He played that beautifully.
Face-offs have spurred this Notre Dame comeback. 7 out of 10, make it 7 out of 11 now in the second half. Notre Dame won the first 7 face-offs of the second half. Carolina has won now the last 4, but again, not getting early offense off of those face downhill. 9-6, a 3-goal lead for the Irish. Lynch and Wambach.
We talk about how scary Notre Dame can be. And one of the main reasons, you know the knowns, the Taylors and the Cavanaughs, right? Like that's coming.
He was part of that, I say, vaunted third midfield that we saw last year emerge down the stretch. The last 5 Notre Dame goals have come from 5 different players. What was once a 4-goal deficit, now a 4-goal advantage for Kevin Corrigan's Irish.
The interesting thing about this team, when they shoot the ball on cage, they know how to hit the back of the net. They're second in the country in terms of team shooting percentage. But they just weren't coming. Mainstay and Kevin Corrigan and Brian Wellner's defense as a shorty.
He's among the best. Trail check Donovan. He's pretty good too. This rope unit for Notre Dame, all of Kevin Corrigan.
I think his philosophy was, let's play our best lacrosse and let's go. And the beauty of that is he doesn't overschedule in the regular season. They played less games.
We walked out of the ACC tournament a year ago, and I remember saying to Matt Ward as we're walking out, who's beating this team?
What was his response? Nobody?
Nobody did. I mean, they blowtorched through the postseason. You know, these goals now in this last 90 seconds, they're not totally irrelevant because, let's say,